Hey guys, I got a quick video for you today. It's a quick DIY video on how to make a surf/camping shower. Now, after surfing, what I really like to do is I like to rinse off with some fresh water because salt water, it just kind of has that kind of clammy feeling on you when it's drying, and it takes a while to dry. So I like to rinse off my gear, rinse myself off when I'm at the beach before I load my stuff in the car. So that's what this guy comes in handy for. This is just a shower that I made from a garden sprayer. There's nothing really much to it, except I had to find a way to get rid of the old nozzle, this guy here, this garden sprayer wand, because this doesn't really have any amount of volume of water you can spray through it, to a garden hose nozzle. So to adapt that, I used a fitting, which is just, you can get at Home Depot. It's a threaded barb fitting that fits onto a hose and then it threads into the garden hose itself, or the garden nozzle I should say. Easy. But on the new one I have, which I'll show you here in a minute, unfortunately this hose is really tiny. So I needed a way to take that tiny hose and adapt it all the way up to this 1/2-inch barb. There's no real easy way of doing that. I asked the guy at Home Depot, I searched around a few home improvement shops, but I think I came up with a solution that should work. I'm actually going to machine it to get it to work, but you could totally do it with files. I'll show you how that'll work here in a second. The other thing is I'm replacing this because this mechanism is broken. After 5 years of use, I've gotten lots of use out of this. Now it's all squeaky, it doesn't hold pressure anymore, it's leaking through the valve. This part here I had to jerry-rig with some zip ties to hold it in place. So in the interim, I put a feeder valve in this so it would relieve the pressure of the wear and tear on this, so I could get a couple more uses out of it. But now really, I just bought a new one, I'm gonna make a new one. So I'm gonna make some improvements on the new one. So let's get to it and, you know, let's show you how to make one. So this sprayer nozzle thing isn't going to be very useful, so I'm just going to put it up there. I made this fitting to go from the small hose up to the 1/2-inch hose nozzle. This actually didn't work for me, but I'm including it so you can see why it didn't work. So don't do this. I'll show you how to do it properly later. I machined down the barb on the 1/2-inch hose fitting so that it would fit onto the 1/4-inch barb fitting. Now I realize most people don't have a lathe, but the brass can also be removed using just a file. So here is the finished shower, and I also added in this additional way to fill it with some wastewater management fittings. These are 1.25" fittings, and what this will allow me to do is be able to fill it, that way I'm not fatiguing this top piece, because this here is what failed on the old one. And to take this on and off, after a while, this plastic fatigues and then it breaks. So then I can't get this on and off like on the other shower. There is a hiccup with this. Now, let's pump this up and see how it works. So I have my hot nozzle on. So, no pressure leaks. Let's try this out. And that's how well it works. It works terrible. And I couldn't figure out why this was working so terrible, because I've done this before. Now this is on a really constricted down. So I figured out what the issue was. This hose is way too small, and so is this inside tubing. So this tubing here, which is the feeder, is tiny. It's super, super tiny. Whereas is, I would say, triple the amount. So I need to increase the hose size for this because I get lots of pressure. I think I know a way how to do it, so this was a restart. So let's go back and redo this all over again. Alright, so now I have a PEX to iron pipe type fitting, threaded fitting, so that way the container can fit in between here. So PEX, 1/2" PEX to this fitting, then to 1/2" PEX on the other side. So I'm also going to put an O-ring on both sides, so that way it will form hopefully an airtight seal. I'll put pipe thread tape on this because this is a tapered thread, which will then seal it so that it's airtight. So then an O-ring here, put that guy on like that. I'll have an O-ring on the other side when I fit this together. So let's put it together. Alright, so this shower is done now. I got it all working after a few iterations, a little troubleshooting. If you can find one of these containers with the proper size hose already, you won't have that issue. You just gotta get a nozzle on it, it'll work. But it's working now, so I'll pump this up, show you that it works. I get a really nice stream, really good shower on the shower setting. So I get good pressure. So this will work really well. Wash off my gear, shower myself off after surfing, or use this for camping. So anyways, that's it for this video. This took a little longer than I expected because I had to figure around with all these parts and stuff, but now that I got it all working, I'm happy with it. I can refill and release the pressure with this fitting that I put on this side. So you can hear the air releasing. And I can just refill in through here. So I never have to remove this so much so that it causes it to fail like on the other one, which totally failed. It broke after some use. But now this can just stay screwed on and I don't have to worry about it anymore. Alright, thanks for watching. So that's it for this video, and I will catch you in the next video.